Hello everybody and welcome. I'm No02. Thank you for watching this video. Continuing our Bright Sands guide here, the ultimate Bright Sands guide. I'm going through every major location on Bright Sands and talking about the loot, the PvE, the PvP, and some miscellaneous things as well in each given area. And we are here at the Vaccine Labs. The Vaccine Labs. Kind of a nice place to loot. And we'll get straight into it here. Check the timestamps. I'll be breaking everything down into loot, PvE, PvP, some climbing stuff, some miscellaneous things to note about the area. Loot. Key loot that you can find here: poly prefabricate, optic lenses, meds of a variety of levels, green and blue meds spawn here, as well as pale ivy blossoms. There's, of course, some other generic things that spawn here as well, but those are going to be the primary things that you're going to be finding here. Containers that spawn here: medcase, civilian locker, a couple of cabinets, and the jacket. And then the hard spawns, it's going to be that key loot most of the time: poly prefabricate, optic lenses, meds, pale ivy blossoms. And there's actually two weapon spawns. I got both of them in this run right here when I was for this video, which is quite nice. So this way, I don't know if you can't quite see. Yeah, you can see it. We're here at the Vaccine Labs, looking towards the East Collection Point. And this is one of the this road leads to the East Collection Point. This is where we are. So we're gonna start going through all of the spawns here, all the loot. This weapon case here can spawn a weapon. I found a variety of things here, from scrappers and all the other common guns, or the common guns plus a couple of uncommon guns. Here is the jacket. Nice mine access key. Occasionally you might see some things spawning on these shelves, but I feel like these shelves are rather vacant a lot of the times. One important thing to note about the loot here is that most of the loot is actually hard spawning and not actually in containers. There's very few containers here. There's like 2 cabinets, 1 jacket, 1 civilian locker, and like 3 or 4 med cases. Right? Here's our cabinet. Most of the loot is hard spawns in the ground. There's a weak stim. Be sure to check underneath these beds, like the foot of these beds. We'll sometimes have things spawning on them. Things will spawn on the bed. You'll see meds spawn on top of the bed. And if it's like a weak stem, some loot will clip into the bed right now. Got wires. Wires are also a fairly common thing. Here's some optic lenses. Let's give you sort of a lay of the land. Most of the loot here is going to hard spawn on a lot of these crates. A med case, right? There's the poly prefabricate. Some wires. Pretty much all of these blue barrels have chances for loot to spawn on top of them. Go over here. Take a quick peek around, right? That's for the loot. There's a med case right here on this side of the building. A lot of these vines, if these vines touch the ground, or like right here, I find that, look at that. Pale ivy blossom has a chance to spawn on these vines. Occasionally you'll find things spawning on this shelf, but usually it's just the med case. Sometimes things on the ground here. And stuff can spawn on these shelves, so it seems rare. It seems rare that the shelves have things on them here. Poly. Here is the 1 civilian locker. Textile in it, right? Now we're here. This is like the center building with the rail above it. Again, all these crates have a chance to spawn stuff. We'll go into the center building. This is our second cabinet, and it is also our last cabinet. Again, there's like almost no containers here. Majority of the containers are inside the key room. Here's the second weapon spawn on this shelf here. Underneath the building that has the rail track on top of it. PDW spawn. I find that spawn seems to be less consistent as the weapon crate spawn. Optic lens. Very cool. This is the building that has the key room in it. It's our last building. There's only 3 buildings here. I mean, I'm sorry, there's 4 buildings here. This is the last building. There's a med case down here. Sometimes things will spawn on the ground. Here's a green med kit. I do believe things can spawn on top of this table as well, but it seems rare. Most of the hard spawning loot is actually outside. We can see everything in here. You can see a med case right there on the ground. Med kit's hard spawned. There's a safe, a cabinet. Inside that open container, medicine can spawn inside of that. And then pretty much all along the walls on top of the consoles, med and some random loot can spawn on top of it. Most of it's med. I would say in overall, this door's the value is pretty similar to the tall house, where the tall house would give you some ammo, some guns. Pretty minuscule things, nothing too dramatic. I think this key provides loot that's maybe slightly better in value, but for the most part, it's just you can go to the tall house, find a gun and some ammo, come here, and find some meds. Right, but other than that, this is mostly just for meds. Mostly just for medicine. Things can hard spawn on the balconies outside. More loot, more crates. Or more crates, more loot potential. For some reason I'm running really slow. I don't know why. All this here has a chance to spawn more loot right on the ground as well. All the loot. And that's it. That's it for all the loot here. Most of it spawns outside, like I said. When it comes to PvE, there are two groups of PvE. The first group will be down here, and they'll sort of patrol between this gate and the far gate over there. There could be anywhere between like 2 to 6 enemies here. A couple of, mostly striders, the occasional rattler or 2 sometimes as well. So quite a bit as far as one group goes. Pretty large group. And the same thing up here again, like another 2 to potentially 6 striders with a combination of rattlers in it, or 6 total, a mixture of striders and rattlers. Lots of verticality here, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But lots of verticality to fight all of the PvE. I showed this trick before at Waterfall Labs, but if these doors are open, you can aggro the PvE. You can get them to chase you all the way up here, right? PvE is chasing us. We can then jump down, run into here, and shut this door. And all of the PvE would be trapped behind this door inside this building. You can do that if you want to deal with the PvP, like remove it. You then comfortably loot the outside, because the majority of loot is outside, without having to knife it all or shoot all of it as well. In addition to that, you can sort of trap that PvE behind that door and wait for the storm to come and farm the charged spinal bases is an option as well. Or once you have everything trapped behind that door, sometimes you can then close this door. You can hang out here, and the PvE will technically guard your back, like guard your flank in a funny way. That's it for PvE. Let's talk about PvP. When it comes to here, this is actually a nice place to fight, I think. There's a lot of cover, a lot of opportunity to break line of sight, to maneuver and outflank. But there's a surprising amount of verticality here. Where just about all of these balconies have an alternative way to get on top of them. Which is actually kind of cool, kind of nice. So when it comes to pushing people inside these buildings, there's actually a lot of options as far as displacing them, right? Maybe they're holding a door or an angle. You can get up here and mess with them and make them change positions and then jump down, and all of a sudden their spot up here on the staircase where they were trying to put an angle on you, you can flank them, things like that. A lot of interesting potential. A lot of this verticality, just like the balconies, all reachable in some way or another, offering you cover on some angles and things like that. One thing that I should note is that all of these blue crates, if you crouch behind them, become headshot angles, where the majority of our body is covered up. We can still see quite comfortably, but our opponent can really only see like our shoulders to our neck up, sort of thing. It's not quite the perfect headshot angle, but majority of your body ends up getting covered by it. One thing to note too for this balcony right here, if you jump on top of this crate, sprint, jump, my movement speed is all messed up. It's like counting me as if I'm still holding. Oh yeah, look at my. I dropped both guns, but it says I still have the ICI. The guarantee is still equipped. I need the movement speed. You can make this jump, I swear. You can make this jump from that crate. Oh, that's so strange. That's so strange. Okay, this better? Maybe this will help. There we go. There you go. Yeah, you can make this jump no problem from those crates, as well as jump on top of these crates onto this and onto this balcony. So a lot of verticality and a lot of different ways to potentially get inside some of these buildings. So on the flip side, if you're going to hold out inside these buildings, potentially be aware of getting flanked, especially against squads or duos, where you might get in here and think, oh man, I'm going to hold the stairs, and now the fact that there's 3 of them, I can, you know, funnel them down a hallway or something like that. You can pretty much get flanked in any of these buildings because of the verticality, which is quite nice. The only bit of rocks in the area that are relevant are up here. You can get on top of these rocks and sort of have a view into the vaccine labs. I show you how to get up there and onto these rocks in my Riding the Rail series, part 3. So check those out if you're interested in seeing how to climb on top of these rocks that you're not intended to get on top of. It's really not a significant advantage or anything like that. There's all these rocks in some way or another you can get on top of. And that's about it. The sort of the PvP and miscellaneous stuff kind of blend together here as far as just this verticality. Some extra verticality that you can take advantage of. And that's about it. Well, thank you guys for watching. Kind of an climactic end here. I don't know what to do if I don't have a exploity mountain to show you to climb on top of. I think to summarize, yeah, we'll do a summary here. To summarize, the majority of loot here is outside, hard spawning. And there's a lot of verticality for PvP. And there's only 2 groups for PvE. One down there, and one at the main gate. And that's the vaccine labs for you guys. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. And I'll see you in the future.